I'm Vidhyashankar. Hi, Vidhyashankar. Hi, I'm Vidhyashankar.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vidhyashankar from the Phoenix Consulting team. It's a pleasure to see the entire Netflix top management team here and everyone present here. I really appreciate the fact that you have given your time to us and also the fact you have given our team the opportunity to analyze Netflix path forward. Today in my team, I have Wes Wade, Tanya Graham, and Tony Solis. I would like to mention to you at this point that our team has put tremendous effort in analyzing the case at a multitude of angles and conducting customer research, market research, and come up with what we feel as the best possible recommendation. Going forward, I'll be talking about the industry analysis, your internal capabilities, which are your strengths, and the sustainable competitive advantage. At that point, Wes will take over. We'll be talking about the strategic issues that you're facing and what are the alternatives available to overcome this strategic issue. From there on, Tanya and Tony will be talking about the recommendations and what are the action steps you need to take in order to implement these recommendations. After Tony's presentation, I will be opening the arena for question and answers and any further discussions on this case. Is everyone okay with the agenda? Thank you. The in-home film entertainment industry is a highly competitive and large industry with diverse competitors. Now you have the home movie production companies, you have the digital and cable satellite companies, you have the DVD retail companies, and also the DVD retail online rental companies, which you are participating with a massive 6 million customer base, directly competing with Blockbuster, who has a 2 million online customer base. Going on to the opportunities, the in-home film industry is a mature industry characterized by slow growth rate and more of repetitive customers. The typical opportunities being the product refinement, the investment in service quality, and process innovation. However, due to the advent of new technology, particularly the VOD or the video on-demand technology, this industry has become hyper-competitive, wherein the companies need to be open to adopt new technology through their flexibility strategy, or probably jump in early through their proactive disruption. Going on to the threats in the industry, just a while ago just mentioned the large number of competitors, making it so easy for the customers to switch from one company to another company with a very low switching cost. And further, the customers are also sensitive to price, that any firm that tries to increase the price would end up losing customers. The biggest threat in this industry is the film studios. Probably this industry would not exist without them. Further, the firms in the industry is highly competitive, that today a movie will be in high demand, and tomorrow there's no demand for the movie, and another movie will be replacing it. Another big threat in this industry is there are too many number of suitable substitutes. The substitutes could be reading, any outdoor activity, or probably even fishing. Going into the strengths, one of the key strengths of this is your relationship with suppliers. The film studios, particularly the strategic alliance you have with the film studios, eliminate the threat of the suppliers. Further, the strategic alliance with USP is making you the highly performable and highly efficient company in the market. The other key strength is your extensive film library, which no other competitor has in this market. However, there are two things that stand out to be your sustainable competitive advantage. The first being your customer recommendation system, and the second, your brand reputation. The customer recommendation system is a proprietary technology built-in tool, which I'm sure will be difficult for the competitors to imitate. More than the proprietary technology, the 6 million customer-based online renting habits, which has been put into the technology, would make sure that this technology could never be imitated by any other competitor. Also, this mitigates the threat of the fact I was mentioning a while ago that the customers have a low switching cost. All these key strengths lead to a brand, Netflix, which is the most highly performing and highly reliable and making it the most favored company in this industry. At this point, I will turn it over to Wes, who will be talking about the strategic issue.
Thank you very much, Vidya. Video on demand technology is coming, and it's coming quickly. So it would be naive to assume that DVD technology will not be replaced as the film media of choice. Therefore, if Netflix and its competitors were to continue to operate in the same way as they do currently, their branding proposition would be rendered obsolete, and their customer base would quickly erode. Therefore, the strategic issue facing this industry, the firms in this industry, is how can they leverage their sustainable competitive advantages in a way that best utilizes the technology provided by VOD and also helps them sustain their long-term viability. Given this strategic issue, there are three alternatives that present themselves. Each one requires a different level of VOD commitment from Netflix. The first of these alternatives is to license the VOD technology to a cable or satellite provider, wherein they, over a short length of time or a given length of time, the recommendation system would be part of the cable company's offering. Cable and satellite providers already have the technology to take the VOD content and put it directly onto the TV, so the picture clarity is already there, already perfect, so there wouldn't be an issue in that regard. Additionally, there's only a small investment required by Netflix, if any at all. On the downside of this recommendation, this would strengthen the competition's offering. Netflix has by no means saturated the market for its core offering, which is DVD rentals. And so to help a competitor in this regard would not be beneficial to Netflix in the long or the short run. The brand would be controlled by another party, so this is the first time we get into the sustainable competitive advantage. With the brand controlled by another party, any problems that the service provider has with their particular service offering would actually be reflected upon Netflix, hurting their brand reputation. Further, the cable and satellite provider only have a limited selection of movies to choose from. The recommendation system Netflix has relies on thousands of movies to be selected from, so that the perfect recommendation can be given to a given customer. Again, this would not be anywhere near as beneficial when you'll have 100 or so movies to choose from. The second recommendation is for the second possible recommendation would be for Netflix to create its own standalone VOD company where the only content it provides is the VOD straight through the internet, therefore eliminating any kind of reliance on UPS. This would establish Netflix as a market leader very quickly, especially if the technology is adapted or adopted by customers in the near term. Additionally, this has the most revenue growth potential. The downsides to this recommendation actually outweigh the negative, or outweigh the positives though. There are actually five. First of all, there would be cannibalization of Netflix's core business, which is the DVD rentals. Second, managerial diseconomies of scale would result, as this is a separate profit center and also separate management attention has to be for operating two different and related companies. Third is the connectivity and clarity issue, which I mentioned on the previous recommendation or alternative, which is that how much demand is there really for a grainy picture through a computer? In January 2007, there's still concern over how best to connect a computer to a television, how best to watch it in that respect. This will also require significant technological advancement on the part of Netflix. It doesn't have a core competency in necessarily technology development. Yes, the recommendation system is great, but that isn't necessarily because it's high technology. So this would have to be a totally new branded website, as well as the VOD content would have to be provided through a means that they have not already perfected. Finally, and most importantly, there are piracy concerns that the film companies are likely to have. This recommendation is predicated on the fact that customers must be willing to pay for this content. And again, given the previous issues, will they be willing to pay for it? And if they have only a few movies to select from, are they willing to take on the cost of having the service, and is the value proposition good enough for them to adopt? So the takeaways from these two recommendations is that neither properly utilizes the sustainable competitive advantage owned by Netflix. I'm now going to turn it over to Tanya to take us through the recommendation that we do suggest you follow.
Thank you, Wes. Our team recommends that Netflix actually integrate the VOD technology into its current offering. The biggest benefit to this recommendation is that it will establish Netflix as a participant in this industry. Even though they will not be significantly investing initially, it will be available, and as VOD enhances and matures over the years, Netflix customers will be less inclined to switch to a competitor in VOD and stay with the service and use VOD as it goes on. The second biggest benefit to this recommendation is that this will allow Netflix to enhance its core offering continually. Netflix's core business is still generating revenue and is not something that can be neglected at this time.